Hey everybody, Dan here with In Survival. In the pack that I showed you guys, I didn't have much as far as first aid, and I got to thinking about it, so I put a little kit together. We were going through some old stuff that we had from our old house, and we had some things left over from my son's schooling that he didn't use. This is just an old pencil pouch, but it's surprisingly very sturdy. So it's got these 3 rings on it, so I can easily, carabiner it to my pack, or 550 cord it, and tie it around my waist, or however I want to do it. So it's easily attachable. So what I'll do, and you can obviously see through the top, so I can actually locate what I need before I get in here without pulling everything out. So I'll go ahead and get into it. Now this is primarily first aid, but there are some other additional things in here, such as this little compact here. I got this for $1 at the Dollar General store. It's a 2-part mirror, so if I wanted to, I could actually break this in half, and if I'm hiking with someone and we get separated, they can actually use one side to signal. Typically in a survival situation, if you're separated from your partner, typical SOP is to signal every 15 to 30 minutes. And what that does is if you're looking for somebody, or if somebody's looking for you, it gives them a better opportunity of finding you. So there's that. Also, Orajel. Now you're probably wondering, what in the world does Orajel have to do in a survival situation? Well, not only in an emergency situation will you be out there and possibly not be able to take care of your dental hygiene, and this will help with the toothaches that you might incur during that process, but also minor scrapes and abrasions, little scratches, cuts, thorn pricks, little nicks. If you nick yourself with a knife or anything, like I did here on my hatchet, I actually pulled it out of the sheath and caught the very edge of it on the corner, and it's still sharp, very, very, very sharp, and just barely gave me a little nick. What this will do, if you apply this to those little nicks and things, if you know what Orajel does, Orajel numbs the pain. Well, now I will not say that it'll completely do away with the pain that you're experiencing from a little nick or scratch. Will help to reduce or dull the pain. So that's that. Okay, now also I have here just a medicine bottle, but anyway, inside here is my sewing kit. I've got a full spool of thread. I've got a 1.5 meter measuring tape, and this would be useful in a structure building, or patching up your clothing if you get a hole in it, patching up tarps if you get a hole in it. And inside here, I don't know if you can see that, I have the needle, and I have 3 different sizes of buttons. So it's always good to carry some buttons with you in your sewing kit. I also have a separate bag that I have paper clips and safety pins in. That back in there. And you see it fits nice and snug right there. So that's that. I also have dental floss. Now again, this isn't much to do with first aid unless you need it to sew up a wound, as a to use it as a suture. One thing this will help you with is if you have to do any kind of fishing, emergency or survival type cordage. It's very strong, believe it or not. It is strong enough to create a shelter, so that's a good thing to have. I got my latex gloves. BC powder. Now this is the in my book, this is the #1 headache reliever. For the simple fact that it is a powder. It's not a tablet. It doesn't have to dissolve. It's already ready to go. Once you swallow it and it gets in your stomach, it's going into your system. This is by far the best, because not everybody can take aspirin, and this is an aspirin powder. But I do have, just in case I'm with someone who can't take aspirin, I do have Advil, which is ibuprofen. And then also, when those pills are gone, I can use this container for something else. I have Jolly Ranchers. You want to keep them as long as you can, just to help keep that saliva flowing in your mouth. Alright, now this is a little tip that I got from Florida Adventurers. Basically what this is bleach. If you know a lot about survival, you know that bleach, or not even survival, common sense will tell you that bleach will purify water. Obviously chlorine in pools, you know, bleach and chlorine are pretty much the same thing. 3 drops per liter. So if you have this, I think they said in their video this was 124, I believe 123, 127, somewhere in there, drops of bleach, which is roughly 120 divided by 3. Let's see, close to probably, okay, I'm trying to do math on camera and I'm getting a brain fart, so we'll say 48 liters. Okay, so a good thing to have. Some more BC powder. And who doesn't like to play a little game of cards? These are waterproof playing cards, plastic, by Bicycle. Cards can be a big, morale boost. You can play against yourself. You can play solitaire. Just, you know, something to keep, like I said, keep your brain active, keep the thoughts flowing, and so you don't your senses don't get dulled, and it'll help you make it out of whatever situation you're in. Or if you're just on a hike and you're with some friends, a good deck of cards is always good to have. You know, you can always play. If it's raining, your hands are wet, you ain't gonna bother them. They're plastic, so something good to have. Okay, hand sanitizer. This is definitely something you want to have. Basically, you want to use this sparingly, but also this is a good fire starter. This will go up like a light. Alright, I got a decent 9, I think it's 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 LED light. This is pretty old. This is, I've had this for a while. It's pretty banged up, you can see right here. But it does the job. Okay. Super glue. Now I have super glue in case of major cuts and abrasions. You also have the pin that actually opens it and keeps it shut. And what this is good for is you can use it to remove splinters. So that's always good to have. Or, you know, also the needle that's in your sewing kit. Zip ties. Tons of uses for these. These are the small ones. And the bandana. This is just a basic dollar store bandana. I got 2 of them for $1. Or 2 of them for $2, something like that. But just your basic bandana. This is always good for, you know, tying a tourniquet or anything like that. I also recently learned a new knot. Speaking of tourniquets, I learned a knot that you can use as a tourniquet too, and I'm going to go into that. I think I'm going to start a kind of like a knot of the week thing, where I'll tie some knots on camera for you, show you how to use, you know, and give you some good uses for them. So, but so that's basically my little emergency survival first aid kit, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.